Let's start with our prayer. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Tat. Antarjyoti Bahirjyoti Pratyagjyoti Paratparaha Jyotireva Jyoti Vayam Jyoti Atma Jyoti Shivosmyaham Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha अखंड मंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः नारायण समारंभात् शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरुपरंपरां सदाशिव समारंभात् शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरुपरंपरां. Welcome everyone. Hi
Hello.
Ashwin. Hi Josh. Sorry for the delay in starting today's session. Welcome. You have any questions from session, or you want to share your understanding of chapter 4? How do you want to go? Okay, Kunal, you joined first, so I will go with you first. Start.
Okay. Okay. So from this chapter, it was basically a detailed understanding of what we talked about last time about action and action. So from the video, it was clear that action and inaction, and there is also inaction that Guruji mentioned. So action is consciously doing some things. Inaction is not doing things consciously, and inaction is losing the sense of doership and doing actions as if you are a medium of God doing those actions. So from this chapter, a new concept came up, which was non-duality. And it was explanatory that duality comes only through ego. And what exactly duality is that we have always got this sense of what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false. There's always a dual nature that we have outwards, but in reality, that's just because of our ego. We don't. The world itself doesn't have the dual nature. The dual nature is only in our minds, that we think if a certain thing is pleasing to the eyes or it is bad to the eyes, if certain smell is good or bad, that's only in our mind. The reality is that the smell is that the whatever we are seeing, that is, and there is no dual nature in that. Yeah. So, and this chapter, so from the video, it was basically I was trying to like get the difference between what we have learned from the previous chapters and what we are learning in the new chapter. So in through the video, it was very clear that Guruji explained about what happened in first chapter, second and third chapter, and now what's happening in the fourth chapter. Yeah. So from the first chapter, it was about karmi, the selfish actions that uh, only only the sense of I causes depression. So Arjun is in that state where he's thinking about all those things, and Sri Krishna is explaining him about why the depression comes. The cause of that depression is me, mine. From the second and chapter, Karma Yoga and Sankhya Yoga, that came into picture, that uh, you are the doer of things, and you are not the body, not the mind. Uh, you are the supreme consciousness, the Atma. So dropping while doing the actions, dropping of enjoyment, and not thinking about the results, and doing the actions. And from this chapter, uh, the jnana karma, like the sannyasa yoga, was brought into picture, where you are not the doer. uh, think of, while doing the actions, think of uh, as if the actions are, you are just a medium of those actions, and uh, the sense of I has to disappear for you to be completely blissful, and move towards enlightenment and moksha. Yeah, that's it.
Good. Good summary. What is sannyasa?
uh, Sannyasa is uh, so the person who like sannyasi is the person whose entire life is like centered towards God, towards attaining moksha, towards uh, karma yoga and jnana yoga. And sannyasa is basically doing all those, basically living your life with karma yoga and jnana yoga, and applying it uh, throughout your life, and like whatever happens, keeping this in mind, that uh, you are not the body and mind. So keeping yourself uh, attached to the atma, not attached, on every step, learning that you are atma more and more, and doing actions which will lead to that.
You might have seen many sannyasis, sadhus in India wearing saffron robes and maybe beard, some long hair. So, what is that? And what is this sannyasa? Difference.
So so they have left the normal household duties, and they have taken sannyas, like they have detached themselves from the materialistic world of uh, raising a child, marrying, and all the norms of the world, of the, I can't say materialistic world, but of the normal world, that uh, you need to do these things. There are like get your education, get your degree, get married, have children, have your own family, and the list goes on. So they have left all those things and concentrated their entire life towards attaining God, moksha, or supreme consciousness, whatever, from my understanding.
So, yes, correct. Um, But the word say this is normal and that is abnormal is not correct. Both are normal for individual, whatever lifestyle. So this sannyasa, uh, it's called sannyas ashram. Sannyas ashram they have taken. That means they have taken a lifestyle of a monk. So they can focus more and more of their time and energy on this. But their struggle is same as our struggle. The one who is wearing a tie, going after what you call as normal, he has the same issue with body, mind, ego, and the sannyasi also has. Your time and effort that you can spend because of your other commitments is less. Um, his time and energy, the time and energy that he can spend in a day is more. That is the only difference. But the jnana that Krishna is teaching about karma yoga, karma sannyasa, it is applicable to all. Whether whatever lifestyle, whether you choose the lifestyle of a householder or the lifestyle of a monk, this is the same teaching. Any questions? Non-duality, you said non-duality comes through ego. How does it comes through ego?
uh, because you have a sense of I, and because of those things you try to give definitions to whatever you see through yourself. Like if you find some things pleasant, uh, you get attached to those things. If you find some things are irritable or not pleasant, then you get a repulsion from those things and you try to get away from those things. So that that itself is ego. Like the sense of I creates all these things as pleasure and non-pleasure, and uh, pain, aversion. All things are created because you have a sense of your own body, your own mind, and your likes, dislikes. So if that all goes away, then what you have is your pure consciousness. Uh, you can feel the consciousness that there is something, like if you close your eyes you can feel that there is something deeper than your body and your mind, but it's not clear. So
So,
uh,
so when you close your eyes, you say you feel consciousness. Who feels it?
I think the mind feels it.
So mind cannot comprehend consciousness. Mind cannot feel, know. The consciousness is the one that knows.
Okay.
Consciousness is the subject that knows about the body, that knows about the mind, that knows about the intellect, that knows about the ego, that knows about the world, everything. It is the subject. Consciousness is the subject here, the sakshi, witness, that knows everything. Nothing can know it.
Okay.
Yeah, mind cannot see, just like your mind knows your eye. Yeah? So
Yeah.
your eye knows your iPhone. Your iPhone cannot know your eye. Your mind knows about your eye, but your eye cannot know your mind.
About your mind.
Same way, you- the Sakshi consciousness knows your mind, is aware of your mind. I won't say your mind, it's aware of the individual mind operating. But mind can never know. Mind is finite. Finite cannot know infinite.
Okay.
So mind is only learning about the concept of the infinite, trying to grasp what is mind can only know that which is an object. An object has a name and a form, a shape. It exists in a particular time and it disappears at a particular time. At a particular place, particular time, an object comes up. And at a particular time and a particular place, it disappears. Every object, whether it is a body or a planet or a star, everything appears at one point, it grows, it keeps changing, decays, and at some point it disappears. So it is based on space and time, every object. And that object has a name and a form. So that form separates it from other objects. So the form defines its boundaries. Because of the boundaries, it separates itself from other objects. So all these objects, the space is the background. They are all held within the space. Now, conscious is not an object. It is not bound by any boundaries, by space or time. It neither appears nor disappears. It neither grows nor decays. It is the one that knows the objects, the events. It knows about even time. So beyond time, before time, during time, after time. Beyond time, it is there. So that is your real identity. You are that. You are that consciousness. So your mind knowing yourself does not arise. You know your mind. You know about your mind, right? When a thought comes, you know that the thought came to your mind. How do you know? It's your consciousness. It's your real identity, knowing that this thought came up. So you are thinking that you are the mind and you are trying to find the consciousness. It's not correct. It's the other way around. You are the consciousness.
The consciousness.
Yeah. And you are observing that your mind is trying to find the consciousness.
Right.
Ashwin, who joined next?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Ashwin.
So what I learned was like basically the same. So like in order to gain the self-knowledge, we have to get moksha. And some ways to get moksha, the yoga of action is karma yoga. So you can also live a life of sannyasa, which how you said. So when you engage activities, like in karma yoga, when you engage activities centered around God, then it will be better for your liberation. And oh yeah, and there's also the renunciation of activities, which is in other types of yoga. So
So which yoga teaches you to renounce activity?
but
So you said there are other types of yoga that teaches renunciation of activities.
yeah, like technically like jhana yoga, it's like technically not doing the activities because it's yoga of knowledge, right?
You are doing dhyana, right? That is an activity. So you sit for dhyana, you try to do dhyana. That is a activity. It may be a different type of activity, but it is an activity.
Yeah.
Think he was saying Jnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, you are saying Jnana Yoga.
Yeah.
So even Jnana Yoga, you listen, you read, you contemplate. This is all the sadhana in the Jnana Yoga. You have spent time and energy to listen to the talk, prepare notes, and then think through it. Correct?
Yeah.
So there is activity involved. But that activity, the difference is that activity is purifying you, uplifting you. That is the difference. The difference between selfish actions is they drag you down. Whereas the activities related to Atma Jnana, the sadhana related to Atma Vichara, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, these activities, they uplift you, they purify you. So such activities are always encouraged. And you are, by definition, all these activities are always God-centric and selfless or non-selfish activities. You do it for your own. So in the first session itself, we discussed about Atmano Mokshardam Jagathitai. Correct? So Karma Yoga is about serving the society through Karma Yoga. And Jnana Yoga, reading Bhagavad Gita or contemplating on the message, this is all is Atmano Mokshardam. Your activity, these are your activities that are purifying you, that are uplifting you. And you said for self-knowledge, you need to get moksha. That was the statement you made, correct?
Yeah.
So self-knowledge, see, moksha is your ultimate natural state. That means you are all self-realized. So once you get moksha, you don't have to get anything. That means moksha means you are liberated. You are self-realized. You have attained Atma Jnana. And you cannot get this self-realization through effort. Effort is to only uplift you, purify you, and prepare you for Atma Jnana. So this is more like a preparation to make yourself qualified for receiving Atma Jnana. You understand the difference?
Yeah. So
All sadhana. All sadhana is it is like you have a mirror which is dirty. It is not reflecting sunlight properly. The sadhana is about cleaning that mirror and preparing that mirror nice, clean, as a nice, clean, reflecting surface. That is sadhana. Any sadhana, karma yoga, jnana yoga, reading Bhagavad Gita, bhakti yoga, all this is about your chitta suddhi, your purification process. You are preparing yourself. And the moksha, liberation, atma jnana, whatever you call mukti, It is always grace of God and Guru. Just like the moment you clear the mirror, it is capable of reflecting the sunlight. Same way, when you do sadhana and cleanse yourself, you are qualified to receive the grace of God.
So moksha is when you know it, right?
Moksha is grace of God.
Uh,
Moksha, different um, text refer to the same thing as in different terms. Right? Moksha, Atma, Brahmagnana, Mukti, self-realization, Nirvana. Nirvana is a word frequently used by Buddhists. They mean similar thing or same based on the sampradaya. Or so for us in Vedanta, we always use Atma Jnana or Brahma Jnana, self-realization. Moksha is a word, it indicates the ultimate state. Mukti indicates the ultimate state. Means mukta ho gaya. He is liberated. Means self-realized person is a mukta. He attained moksha. Means no more birth for him or no more suffering. It's pure, merged into pure jnanas to Bhagavan. Yeah. What are the things, Ashwin, you want to share? Any other questions? Any other thoughts, inputs?
so consciousness would be another definition for Brahm, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
It's not, see, there cannot be any other definition for Brahman. Brahman means everything is Brahman only.
Yeah.
So the conscious, when you say, see, for our understanding, we say consciousness to indicate our self and everything as Prakriti. Yeah, the whatever we see. So this is for us to separate and identify our real self. But whatever you see, the stars, planet, these are all everything that you can think of for everything that you see, can you think of, including consciousness, everything is Brahman only. There is nothing other than Brahman. For example, you see a gold necklace, you see a gold bangles, gold earrings. So you say this is bangle, this is necklace, this is earring. But if you think through, they are all gold only. The gold appeared as bangle, the gold appeared as necklace, the gold appeared as an earring or an nose. But the gold is unchanged. The nature of gold did not change. When you see a bangle, you only see a bangle, you don't see the gold. You call it a gold bangle. But the underlying principle, the essential nature of all this is gold. Same way, this entire universe, millions and infinite number of unique names and forms. But the essential nature is Brahman. Brahman is all these names and forms are mere appearances in the Brahman. It is like you see a ocean, you see waves continuously rising and falling, rising and falling. That wave is just a name and a form appearing and disappearing. The ocean is like Ishvara and Brahman is like water. So the ocean is Brahman. The wave is also a Brahman. There is nothing other than Brahman. But you can say anything as this is Brahman. So you cannot say, you can take a bangle and say gold is bangle. Gold is not bangle. The bangle is gold. But gold is gold. You cannot equate anything with gold. You cannot say gold is necklace. If you say gold is necklace, it means gold is not a bangle. Gold cannot be a bangle. If gold is necklace, gold cannot be bangle. So that's why you cannot say gold is bangle. You can say this bangle is gold because that is true. Same way, you can say everything is Brahman, but you cannot pick up anything and say this is Brahman. That means other things are not Brahman. It indicates that. So that is why you cannot say, you just cannot equate anything else with Brahman. If you have, the only way you can refer is everything is Brahman only. Nothing other than Brahman exists. Everything that seems to exist is just a temporary appearance and disappearance. The underlying core of everything, anything, everything, anyone, the underlying, the basic thing is Brahman. Every number is included within infinity. You cannot go beyond infinity. So infinity is in Sanskrit called Ananta. So Bhagavan is Ananta. Okay?
Yeah, but they say like undefinable, like even if you say that he's infinite, it's still undefinable.
And cannot be defined. See, definition, the moment you define, definition is for an object. Correct? See, to define something, that object has to be inferior to you. And that object has to be comprehensible. Means you should be able to, through your senses or through your mind, you should be able to understand and comprehend that object. Then you can define it. But this is superior to you, superior to everything. You cannot define it because it is not it is not an object. It is not an object. It is referred to as tat. And tat tvam asi. You are that. You are a wave. But what is a wave? You see you are a wave. You see yourself as separate from the ocean. But where does ocean wave start and where does it end? It is just part of ocean. And what is wave consist of? Wave is made up of water only. So your essential nature is wave. The essential nature of wave is water. The essential nature of a bangle is gold. The essential nature of a pot is mud. The essential nature of everything is Brahman. A gold jewelry cannot exist without gold. The different shapes that a mud takes, the pots, pans, they cannot exist without mud. Same way, this entire universe, you, me, everything, it cannot exist without Brahman. Brahman is the underlying. There is no question of knowing Brahman. You are Brahman. You are part of that. A wave, every wave is part of ocean only. The wave, essential nature of a wave is water. It cannot be anything other than water. A wave cannot be anything other than water. You cannot be other than Brahman. You are Brahman. So first, stop trying to know Brahman through mind. It cannot happen. Understand that you are Brahman. Understand that mind is engaged in a futile activity, but it is a good activity. What happens is, mind is like a salt dog. It is trying to understand the ocean. It enters the ocean. It dissolves into the ocean. So this is what sadhana means. Sadhana is for mind only. Mind is like a salt dog. The sadhana is like going to the ocean, trying to find what ocean means. It can never know the ocean. It can only merge into the ocean. Same way, trying to know Brahman is called sadhana for the mind. It will eventually dissolve and disappear into the vast Ananta. Ananta is the infinite Sat Chit Anandam. Brahman. That is the essential nature of you. Your essential nature is Sat Chit Anandam. Okay? Yes?
Um, I have some other favorite parts in this chapter. I think I enjoyed this chapter a tad bit more. Maybe it was a little more digestible. Or maybe because I got a chance to go through it twice. Um, one of the things that I take away, which may potentially go hand in hand with the question that you discussed with Ashwin, um, which is which is how do we get to a realization of consciousness? So for my being, I never see just 1 minute. I've never had a chance to maybe experience consciousness because I'm limited to my mind. But one of the items that I learned from this chapter is that um, one way to get closer to it, they're like, and coincidentally, they're opposite ways. One which is where you sacrifice your senses. For example, maybe in meditations or in the sannyas that we discussed earlier, the feelings for the desire to see beautiful things, or maybe to smell good things, or taste good things, or satisfying your hunger, that is kind of one way of sacrificing it. And the other, which I find it is to a certain extent opposite of that, which is offering the experiencing of the senses, which is what I generally do when if you do like a small puja or something, right? Which is you have you have good scents or aromas or incense, small prasads, and all of these things, like the sound, the bhajans that we might be singing or so. Um, so I never quite thought about it that way. I was able to. I was like, that's interesting. Um, and then the other aspect of it, which is in terms of practicing yoga. Um, wait, so far? Am I saying something incorrect or
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Share your thought.
okay? So in terms of I didn't think of it at the time of reading as understanding consciousness, but there is the path of sacrificing, which is not, which is more like I want to do this, or my mind desires to do something. Um, but I will do my duty. I will not go and eat or indulge in self-pleasure activities or whatever those may be. But I will first make sure my family's fed, for like an extreme example, right? You do your duty first, so there's a sacrifice in that aspect. And in terms of self-realization, or maybe um, helping yourself get in touch with your consciousness, it could be the practice of yoga, which I don't know much about, but I understand that is one of them. um, and the other ones, which is what I think we're doing, is the study of our scriptures and knowledge. And I think that's the only one that I've done much with an, or at least made an attempt of. um, and then maybe you can like kind of increase the productivity of that output based on the level that we approach it with, such as maybe when we observe some strict vows, right? Which might go hand in hand with a level of, there's an overlap of the activities that we do with sannyas. So maybe fasting could be one of them. Maybe even going up to water fast. Some day-to-day habits that most people are engaged in, but when you go to a level of sannyas, you have to, you decide to not partake in those. um, so that was, I think, in addition to a clarification of action in action, um, clarification that we had, that was, well, Kunal covered that already. And I think these were the other things. There were also some interesting parts that I came across. Or by interesting, I just mean like it was kind of like self confirmation, or it could be confirmation bias at play as well, which is um I think it was something like where Sri Krishna is telling Arjun, where for how much people surrender to me, they receive me back in the same amounts. um and I took it as to mean as in these practices that he has shared with us, um the level of commitment we have towards these activities, um in the form of inaction, which is you're doing this not to reap the fruits, that equal amount of benefit or grace, or um the closer he puts us towards him, or the consciousness, or the greater divine that is seen. And I kind of tested it out a little bit, meaning, so since we started the Gita course, um since, or maybe second chapter, not since we started the Gita course, which is I decided to stop praying and seeing how it works. And I saw that I'm not as patient with myself, with my work, with the people around me. There's a little bit of irritation that comes along with it. But more so ever, I started dealing with some ridiculous problems I've never had to deal with this past year. So, for example, I got locked out of my house. I've never had that happen to me in the past like 7 years. But because maybe I'm not as present in my moment or so. But I see that happening. I'm not indulging in the same lifestyle that I was in. It could be coincidence. I doubt it, however. But I see those happen. So that was kind of a curious thing.
So, those things you notice, yeah, you made a statement. I never experienced consciousness. I only experienced mind.
Yeah. Or if I have, I'm not sure I could recognize it.
Okay. So, when you say I only experienced mind, who is the one that experienced mind?
So I want to say consciousness, but I think it was my mind experiencing itself.
Don't go with labels, but
Mm.
who? You are the one who experienced mind, correct?
Yeah.
Or was it somebody else who experienced your mind? Is it you who experienced your mind?
No, I think it was me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was you. You experienced your mind, and you say never experienced consciousness. So the you that experienced mind is the consciousness, and consciousness is the experiencer. How you cannot experience the experiencer?
It's Subhankar. I get what you're saying, right? But my the experience is different. And when you're severely in a meditation or in a bhakti or a chant or a prayer,
Mhm.
um, there is no experience. So that is what I consider, maybe I'm wrong, to be a touch of the consciousness, because you're not bound to anything. Like for example, when um if my hand is hurting or I have an injury, but in the form of prayer, the pain ceases to exist, or I fail to recognize the feeling of pain, right? Whereas, so that I consider to be a level of consciousness where it really doesn't matter physically the area I'm around. I truly feel that we're in a different place. But in a day-to-day activity, um the pain would be experienced. I'm a little more mindful about, oh, like I burnt my finger over there, like it's still burning, type
Your
of
mind,
thing.
your mind went towards the cut in your finger, right?
Yeah.
Your mind focused on the cut in the finger, and you experienced the pain. In During the bhajan, your mind went towards the God, or a different thing. The focus shifted from this to that. That's all happened. So the amount of pain that you experienced has become less. If your mind again refocus from that to the cut, the pain will be same.
No, I think what I'm saying is the mind doesn't exist during prayer or with meditation, or in the best form of meditation that I've practiced. The
Mhm.
concept of self does not exist. Or I just don't recognize that this is me breathing, focusing on breath, or this is me praying. It's just
Very
an
nice.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you exist. Okay?
I exist, but I just don't recognize myself. That's what I'm saying. It's
Very
the
good.
the idea just does not exist.
Very good. Very good. Nice. Very nice. So continue that bhajan.
Mm.
Yeah. Continue that bhajan.
For like a
Stop praying. Yeah. So prayer, when you say pray, stop praying, you mean praying for material gains or
gratefulness,
self?
practicing gratefulness is the form of praying for the benefit of the people around me, and praying for the strength to endure whatever hardships that may be coming my way. That's the prayer.
So, yeah, everybody able to listen through Guruji's talk on chapter 4, the full talk, or did
I
you?
Yeah.
struggle.
Huh?
Yeah, I struggle with the chapter talk, Subhankal. I'm reading the Gita with the chapters.
Yeah, see, you can read, but it is very important that you really listen to the talk, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, your understanding will not be correct. Because that is why I see the reason I ask this question is looks like you are not going through the talk.
Mm.
You are thinking the talk is optional. Yeah.
I'm struggling with the
Ah,
talk. That's what it is. Yeah.
yeah. See, the one thing that you need to understand is Ravana is very really important.
Mm.
What you are doing is Swadhyaya, which is good. You are reading Bhagavad Gita. It's called Swadhyaya. Your understanding will not blossom. You will struggle like this. The path will be very hard for you. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means self-study. Self-study is a very tedious, high effort, low yield path. Shravana is the way since ages. A learned master explaining the concepts is what you need to listen. Then you will get tuned to the logic and reasoning and the deeper inner meaning. It transforms you and the path becomes very smooth. So I specifically raised this question because I feel that you are not listening to the talk. That is where
You are correct.
I can see your struggles in understanding the concept.
Okay.
So what I would say is listen to the talk, to all of you. Don't skip it. If you really want to learn, understand, you have to do Shravana. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa is the way to learn scripture. Swadhyaya, okay. Swadhyaya is good, always good. But Swadhyaya will not take you far. It is like a first step, but real learning happens through Shravana only.
Okay.
Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. So go through the talks. So far we covered 4. Go through them. Really go through them. That is really needed. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll meet again next week. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Bye everyone.
See you soon, Pankaj.
Bye.